Well, I'm going to finalize the buckets tonight. I appreciate, man, I got a ton of messages from everybody today just expressing what they would like to see from us, from what we're trying to do for the sales coming up. I know we got a busy night ahead of us. I got a very busy week ahead of me, but I wanted to make sure we got this set in place and the ball rolling as we head into the week before the sale. The sale is the 12th. It's obviously the 2nd. We have 10 days left. I'd like to have everything kind of sewn up by next weekend so that we can by this weekend, so that I can take a serious look at what we have. And when we get down to the sale and look at the horses beforehand, I can just focus on filling up what we need to do. Now, I think the overall message from everybody is a multitude of buckets. So for the everyday Joe, for the everyday people that just want to, be a part of the stable, that is why I had that flyer bucket put together, right? These are horses that I think are good-looking horses that fit what we're trying to do, but maybe fall a bit short at the sale. And that happens a lot in Ohio because you have to understand the politics of what takes place, right? Sometimes you have these smaller consignments that sell horses. They don't have the same exposure. People have a predisposition to do business with bigger outfits. So those horses maybe don't get the same foot traffic. They don't get out of the stall the same. They don't get looked at the same. Maybe they fall in a place in the sale where they're between numbers of horses that people are looking at. We're no different than anybody else. Everybody's going to look at that sale and look at the same horses and say, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. So what we're trying to figure out is maybe which horses are going to fit in between those groupings. And that might sound silly. You'd be like, Anthony, that seems like a needle in a haystack. But it isn't. It isn't. What we're looking for is potential value hidden in the sale. And there are always the same components that lead to these horses. Now, please don't read into too much. Don't think that I have some magic formula or an algorithm that allows me to see things that other people don't see. All these horses are the same. They have to come to the barn. They have to get the harness on. They have to go out in the track. They have to enjoy their work, like their work, excel at their work. They have to stay healthy. They have to stay sound. They have to train down hard, take their job seriously. Then they have to get to the races, all the while still being sound and healthy. Then they have to have the ability to beat other horses. They have to get in with horses they can compete with. They have to draw good, and then I or whoever's driving them on that particular night have to do a good job. A lot has to happen from the sale to the racetrack in the summer. There's no perfect formula. We're trying to find, and this is why I love talking about the value, right? We all know roughly who's going to be the most expensive horses. We all know after looking at them which ones we don't want, but you have this mountain of horses, and inside that mountain, I can guarantee you, you sit beside that ring and you take your time, there's going to be lulls in the sale. There's going to be horses slip through the cracks, and those horses are the ones that I want to fit in what I would consider that flyer bucket. Maybe you see me buy a horse for $13,000 and say, well, geez, I thought that horse would bring more, or I didn't think about that horse. Those are the horses we're talking about for this bucket, right? I think it's pretty clear to me that a lot of our owners are interested in trotting fillies. I don't blame you. And trotting colts. But I think we're going to have our own trotting filly bucket, especially for a while. We'll see how that goes. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, that's probably going to be 2 horses that come in around an average of $30,000 to $35,000. Pretty high end for Ohio. For a regional sale, that's right under the top, right? Right under, you're going to have those, everybody has in their catalogs, theoretically, dog-eared 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 horses that are going to, those are going to be the sale toppers. You know who they are, and you're right, they are going to be. But underneath that top shelf, there's a whole bunch of horses. We're going to try and find a couple of fillies, probably. I would suspect it'll be 2. I suspect it'll be somewhere between, let's call it, if we call it an average of 32, that's 60. So let's call it 60 to 80,000. And I'm thinking of 2 trotting fillies. So now you have the flyer bucket, which I suspect will be 4 horses That'll come in 50 to 60,000. That would be my plan anyway. We're going to have probably 2 fillies in that bucket. That's 6 horses. Then we're going to have the main bucket. Those are going to make up. Those are going to be horses that we have searched out, that we like, we think fit the stable, and they're going to fit in that main bucket. Probably 4 or 5 horses. We don't have too many in there. And that'll be somewhere between 80 and 100,000, I think. Now, I have had people say, what about a top-end horse? I always like the idea of just buying the best because, truthfully speaking, a lot of times in this industry, which may or may not actually be accurate, in fact, it probably isn't accurate, but I understand the sentiment. More times than not, you get what you pay for. Actually, now that I say it out loud, it's actually completely not accurate at all, is it? It's nice to say we bought one of the top horses in the sale. But here's the thing. I'm confident that we have enough clients. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to take this hat off and put my salesman hat on and go back to working the phones. But I'm going to trust that if we find a top-end horse, and feel free to email me and say, Anthony, I heard you talk about that high-end horse. You weren't really sure. It might happen. It might not happen. Count me in. Feel free to please send me that email. But if one of those horses does come by, maybe a horse that I think is top pedigree, the horse is just astonishingly gorgeous, checks all the boxes, this is the horse we want. And there are going to be some, but they're not going to fall through the cracks. They're going to cost quite a bit of money. And if we happen to scoop up one of those horses, I'm actually confident in saying that our clients will be there to buy the shares. So I'm not going to make the top end bucket for Ohio. I don't think I need to. I think that the people that would be interested in that top end horse trust us in what we're doing, how we do it. And when we buy that horse, I think they'll be there. And if I'm wrong, which I don't think I am, you might hear your phone ring shortly thereafter the sale. But I think that's the best way to look at the buckets. We're going to have a trotting fillies bucket. We're going to have a main bucket that obviously will have some trotting colts in it, right? We're going to have that flyer bucket, which I love trying to put horses into. And then if we do buy another horse, I'll let you know. And if I'm right, that right there, that's 12 horses. It's more than enough out of the sale, especially since we have Lexington, Harrisburg, and we have 4 Ohio homebreds to come in. That's enough horses. Tell me if I'm wrong. Because that is the way, if you wake up tomorrow morning and you see the buckets up for sale on the stable site, that's likely going to be the makeup of them. So again, flyer bucket, fillies, trotting fillies bucket, main, I'm just going to call it the main bucket. It's just and it could be anything. Horses that we believe make the most sense for our burn in that bucket. And then if I happen to buy a high-end horse, I don't think there's a need for it. I think you're going to see me purchase the horse. You're going to know it when you see it. It's going to be a little pricier. It's not going to be 6 figures, but it's going to be a little pricier. And it's going to be first come, first serve. I think that's the fairest way to do it. Am I wrong? I don't think I've gone against any email I've gotten. They've differed a little bit from what people are looking for and not looking for, but I think I'm in the right place, in the right frame of mind heading into the sale. You only have maybe 5 or 6 hours to change my mind, but as of right now, I think that is the best way to go. Now, as far as the cost of them, let me break it right down. I don't want to give you a specific cost now. They will be beside the bucket on the stable thing. You're going to see the cost is there. The fillies one, I'm going to say 60 to 75,000. That's a good number. The flyer, 50 to 60. Main bucket, 80 to 100. And that'll be that. And on my periphery will be a high-end horse if there's one there. All right? I think that's fair. That puts us exactly where we want to be as a group heading into the fall. Tell me I'm wrong. Let me know. You don't have that long. You have upwards of 6-7 hours before I'm done racing at Northfield and before I send an email to Wendy and John finalizing what our buckets look like for the Ohio sale. Thank you all for the input. It was all well thought out, well put together. I didn't expect anything less, and I appreciate every single one of them. Thank you all. Bye-bye.